Following a chat in town the other day about the inability to get a meatball sub sandwich that was actually decent, I've been tasked with making our own version of a meatball sub and throwing a little bit of a barbecue twist on it, whilst also keeping true to the Fit Pro roots that we have and making it actually calorically acceptable. So I'm going to make today a meatball sub using chicken instead of your standard pork or beef mix to keep the calories down, the protein high. Want it to taste good. We're not using gravy, the stodgy gravy that you find in your standard sort of sandwich shop sub sandwich. We're going to be using, for the barbecue twist, a homemade sweetcorn relish, quite a fiery sweetcorn relish. So this should work quite interestingly. We're quite keen to give it a go. So we are still going with the classic foot-long bread to serve it in. But to make this sweetcorn relish, which we're going to pot up into this, we need super sweet sweetcorn. I'm using frozen, nice and easy. You can take it fresh off kernels. Very nicely trimmed, thin green beans. We've got a small amount of minced garlic, diced up red jalapenos and coriander. We've got white cabbage and red cabbage. We've got diced white onion. And we've got, this is frozen but diced tomato. We have to mix that in a non-reactive pan with pickling or white vinegar and a decent amount of sugar to sweeten it, because we want a sweet, sticky but fiery sauce to go into the sandwich without making the bread fall apart, making it soggy, but still complement it. So that's what we're going to do today, and we're going to go and have a look at how we will make this very quick, very simple relish. It's not as difficult as you might think. So we need to chuck all of these ingredients into a non-reactive pan, but first of all, and simmer on the cooker, but first of all we need to mix the sugar and the vinegar together so that we actually have the base for what is going to be, preserving our relish. So we're using not a huge amount, just enough to be able to make quite a thick, sticky sauce once it's heated through with all of the vegetables and the things that we prepared in it. That should be enough. The rest of this will dissolve properly once you start to apply some warmth to it. So I have created our chicken mince because we're using chicken instead of beef. And all I'm going to do now is just season it lightly. So a few sprinkles of salt to taste. We don't want too much of that because salt can be horribly overpowering. We're going with plenty of cracked black pepper, just because, again, it's a flavour we like. And we're just going to use oregano in the mince as well. Nothing too fancy. We're going to keep this as sort of succulent and just enjoyable meatball-y as possible. And we're going to get a lot of the flavours from the relish that we've made to go with this. We're not going to use any binders for this. We're just going to have meatballs. Okay? So nice and simple. And I'm just going to mix this by kind of folding it in on itself and then chopping it down again. And then I'll do another sprinkling over the top just to make sure this is well mixed. This saves me a lot of time rather than mixing it by hand. There we go. A little more pepper. A little more oregano again. There we go. Quite a bit more. No more salt because I don't want to overpower it with the salt. Fold it over. Fold it over. And now I can just start to shape these nicely into uniform size balls. So we've used 450 grams of chicken to make this. I'm anticipating getting somewhere between 12 to 16 meatballs depending on the size. We are going to be filling the foot-long baguette, as we mentioned. So we'd like to see maybe 2, 4, 5 to 6 per baguette. So it's important that we know, the calories that we're putting into there as well, because that was one of our sales. So that sort of size is what we're going for. Palm of the hand. It's maybe the size of a squash ball, maybe slightly smaller, maybe a ping pong ball. I don't think anyone's going to complain if you make them a little bit too big sometimes. So meatballs have come out of the oven. They've been cooked on about 200 for literally less than 20-25 minutes. They've come out of the oven. Our sweetcorn relish is good too. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing how this all goes together. All I'm going to do is make up the foot-long meatball sub now. So it won't take too long. Now it's been a long time since I've actually made a full sandwich like this. But I'll do my best to do it the way a professional would. So I've got to basically cut open the footlong. I've got my fillings ready. That looks good. Cheese and toasted? Good man. Let's add our filling here. Well, these do look like they've come out pretty damn good. I'm happy with those. Nice and lean. Just going to break that one in half so you can see they cook through very quickly and they hold their texture really well. I want to, yeah, not at all. 2, 3, 4, 5. That's going to be padded out with some more stuff too, but I'm going to warm this through so that the cheese melts down first, then throw the relish on it. See what happens. Yeah. relish on. I'm going to use a lot of this. I'm going to have to crack open the jar. You could add any other salad into that you want, but we're keeping it pure. Hard enough to close them up as it is. Let's pop this out of the way. It's in my magical kitchen elf. The oven.
Who's not taking it because he's a magical kitchen camera at the moment.
And let's cut through. I think I landed that square on a meatball. Nice. That is our meatball sub.